Welcome into another edition of the Gator Nation Football Podcast film review. I'm James DiVirgilio, and on today's episode, we'll take a look at Florida's defense versus Kentucky. This was just an absolute dumpster fire from the defense, the worst that Florida has looked on defense in quite some time. They were largely out-schemed in this game for the majority of the game, as Kentucky was simply 1 to 2 steps ahead on almost every play call. Really just taking advantage of Florida and getting wide open receivers and wide open runs versus favorable looks basically all game long. This will be a quick review. And if you want to see the full review, of course, that is available on Patreon, where the link is in the description, where $15 a month will get you full access to both the offensive and defensive film breakdowns. Of course, I don't blame you if you think I don't want to watch even this breakdown, given how poor Florida's offense and defense have looked for much of this season and, of course, much of the Billy Napier tenure. But if you're a ball knower and you want to know more about ball, of course, this is one of the channels where you can gather that intel each and every week as we break down what happens, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll do so here with the defense as well, and almost all of this is ugly. 3rd down and 3 now here for Kentucky early on in the first quarter after Florida gets stopped with the interception here early on by DJ Lagway. Look, 3rd down conversion for Kentucky, that's not good. 12th in the SEC, certainly not great. They were going to be sensational in this game, and a lot of it was going to be due to the game plan Kentucky had on offense. Going to get a motion man here, setting up in basically a quad set as the ball is snapped, and they're going to take advantage of Denson all throughout this game, really, but especially early on. They were clearly targeting how Florida wanted to play these sets. Bunch set here. This is so easy. Open up, right? Just going to read this little flat route here. Denson peeking into the backfield is not going to get leverage on this. It's going to be such an easy throw. Bingo. Set your feet. Good job throwing him right out into this area. Nice and safe catch. Turn the corner. Denson well in trail position there. And that is a very easy pickup on 3rd and 3. The first of several you're going to see, but that is a first down there on 3rd down by scheme. First read wide open, you get that look, you get a high probability throw, and you complete it. 1st and 10 in the red zone, and death by mesh continues here. This time you're going to get a mesh wheel, and Florida not going to account for it. Devin Moore talking to Thornton here, trying to get what's right as soon as they motion their receiver. And something is not going to be right. But yet again, just a mesh play here. When they ran mesh so many times against the Gators, there's your hitch. Mesh, wheel, right? Here's Devin Moore. Devin Moore eyeing what's going on here underneath. Opens up and right now recognizes, uh-oh, I peeked in perhaps a second too long. There's a wheel route here, and I am not going to get to it, right? And that's an on-time throw from Kentucky. And that's also just so easy, right? Doesn't get much easier than this. One more time. Watch the wheel route here, live time. First read. Right away, he's going to sit and hold. He's staring at the conflict defender. Good quarterbacking here. Good fundamentals on his right foot. Stare at your conflict defender. 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 He's peeking inside. He's too far inside. Rip this ball up the sideline. Boom. Perfect. Perfect play there from Kentucky. Again, an offense that was not perfect for most of the games this season. Perfect there. It's a nice play. Death by mesh. Well timed, good rip, good touchdown. Florida goes down 17-7. Well, when a look has worked once for you, why not go back to basically the same thing? Slight different change here in formation. However, really the same thing happening here. Motion man, inside release, out route on Denson, right? I mean, this is just Kentucky taking candy from a baby. There it is again, inside release, out here. Denson staying high into the inside. We're on the far hash. Open up. First read. Tons of space. I mean, it's good football from Kentucky. I mean, that's really easy. He's not near him. He's not touching him, but they're just out scheming Florida in this situation, right? I mean, you got to believe Denson is doing what he's being taught to do there, which is to stay to the inside on these plays. If he's not, then he's cataclysmically blowing it. I can't tell you which one it is, but the fact that Kentucky's so confident with it tells me on film they believed Florida was going to defend this way. Missed tackle. Off to the races. There's Miles Graham, who rarely misses tackles. Kentucky just looking prolific on offense here. 4th quarter action. Now, when Miles Graham is not in the game, you really feel it. Little counter run here from Kentucky. In fact, fourth quarter became counter run time, which Kentucky's done against Florida before with great success. And they figured, why not throw back the clock? It's 31-7. Let's just have some fun with the Gators front and see what they do. And let's start running some counters. There's the GT counter, the staple of Lincoln Riley's playbook, of course, the guard, not guard tackle, sorry, but the guard tight end here, right? So a variation, the GH counter, if you will, not the GT counter. But regardless, same idea. Pull two blockers across here. Florida wants to engage this, muck this up, slow down this train, right? Derail the train. Ideally, you strike this block hard enough to get into this area. So striking the block here is nice, but if you can't get it down into this area on the strike, then you still allow the second puller to come through and make contact. And Florida's problem here is they get two defenders in the same gap. Not good gap integrity here. We need to be in this gap over here. And we are not, and there is your problem, right? No Miles Graham getting blocked up here on the outside. There's Florida's defensive lineman looking. There's a linebacker. There's Robinson getting buried. And there's Denson just watching. And now it's shades of yesteryear with Kentucky, and we're off to the races. See you later. Devin Moore trying to catch him. Flowers trying to catch him. They do catch him, but not before he hits that big blue end zone. Touchdown, Kentucky. Shades of yesteryear. Complete domination. Kentucky takes a knee, ends the game, and you get this sweet stat there. The first 30-point conference win since 1998. They break a 10-game SEC home conference losing streak. They win 4 out of 5 now versus the Gators 5 of their last 8 after going nearly an eternity without beating Florida. Thank you, Billy Napier, for contributing significantly to that. Ugly, ugly stuff here from the Gators. Not good stuff on the film review. And, of course, Stoops feeling it, right? A guy who was on the hot seat, perhaps, as a big buyout. Not really, I think, on the hot seat based on Kentucky's scenario, where they are, what they might like about basketball over football. But certainly feeling good about the fact that they own Florida. Mark Stoops owns Florida here in recent times. That is a reality. We can only hope with the next coach that changes. Of course, I will be with you for the rest of this season and this coaching staff, breaking down football plays and ball plays, the good, the bad, and the ugly, as basically it's been ugly. Maybe we'll get some good. Perhaps we won't. Either way, I will still be here with you each and every week all season long, and I look forward to being back with you next week after Florida plays Ole Miss, where Lane Kiffin could potentially be coaching his last season at the Rebels before he heads over to the Gators. Who knows? Maybe a reason to watch what's going on with Ole Miss to see a preview of what we'll be having in Florida next year. Only time will tell, but certainly for Florida fans, we're hoping for better days. Till next time, as always, go Gators.